All right, let's get right into it. Today we're talking about a company called Amezay AI, and they are tackling one of the biggest, maybe the biggest problem in artificial intelligence right now, and that's the problem of trust. They're on a quest for something they call provable intelligence.
So, you've totally been here before, right? You ask a chatbot something maybe for a quick fact or some code, and it spits back an answer that sounds super smart, totally confident, but it's just plain wrong. It's frustrating, and honestly, it's the core reason we can't just hand over the keys to these incredibly powerful tools just yet.
And there's actually a name for this phenomenon, AI hallucination. And listen, this isn't just some funny little quirk. It is the single biggest roadblock, stopping businesses, stopping professionals from really truly using AI for important stuff. I mean, think about it. If you can't trust the answer, what good is it?
Which brings us to what you could call the AI trust paradox. We have this amazing, almost magical technology at our fingertips, but its own unreliability is creating this massive wall.
This whole crisis of trust really breaks down into a few key problems. You've got the hallucinations, of course, the confidently wrong answers, but then there's context loss. You ever been in a long chat with an AI and it just forgets what you were talking about 5 minutes ago? That's its memory running out. And all of these issues really point back to one core problem. Most AI systems are just one single model. That means a single point of failure.
And this is not some small niche issue. A whopping 70% of companies say that AI's lack of reliability is the main reason they can't use it more. That's a huge number. It's basically a multi-billion-dollar headache just waiting for a cure. So, how do you fix it? Well, Amezay AI's whole idea is to just change the game. Instead of relying on one brain, no matter how smart, they decided to build a committee of experts.
And this slide just lays out the difference perfectly. On one side, you've got your standard AI. It's like having one genius expert who's brilliant but also has blind spots and can make mistakes. But on the other side, you have Amezay AI, which works like a digital experts board. It gives your question to a whole group of different AI models and then tells them to compare notes. It's looking for consensus. It's cross-validating everything to find the truth.
The secret sauce that makes this digital experts board run is their own system, and they call it the mastermind engine. So let's pop the hood and see how it works. Okay, it basically boils down to a 4-step process. It all starts with analysis, where the engine takes apart the answers from all the different AIs. Then it moves into comparison. This is where it lines everything up and finds where the AIs agree, and just as important, where they disagree. The next step, verification, is where it takes all that consensus information and flags it as trustworthy. And finally, synthesis, where it weaves all those verified golden nuggets of information into one single coherent and, most importantly, trustworthy answer. Now, underneath all of this is a massive technical advantage. We're talking a 2 million token context window. The easiest way to think about this is like the AI's short-term memory. With a memory this big, it can read an entire book or years of financial reports all in one shot without forgetting what was on page 1 by the time it gets to the end. It's a game changer.
So, what's the payoff for this whole multi-model big memory approach? Well, Amezay claims it cuts down on those costly errors by over 80% compared to just using a single AI model. See, by building a system that's all about verification instead of just blind trust, they go right after the root cause of the hallucination problem.
Now, a technology this forward-thinking doesn't just spring up out of nowhere. The story behind Amezay AI is actually pretty fascinating, and it starts somewhere you probably wouldn't expect.
So get this. The company was founded in Tokat, Turkey. Its founder is Yasin Umar, an expert in software and AI who has been in the field for over 35 years. This is not your typical Silicon Valley startup story, It's a global story, and it's driven by this really deep desire to solve a problem that affects everyone in tech.
And this right here, this is their whole mission. This isn't just about making a slightly better chatbot. It's about completely changing how we interact with AI, moving away from this weird relationship where we constantly have to double-check everything the machine tells us, and toward one that's built on a foundation of, provable trust.
So what's the big picture here? What does this mean for the future of AI? Well, it means we can finally start talking about a whole new standard, a concept that Amezay is calling provable intelligence.
This line really nails it. You see, the first big wave of AI was all about automation, getting things done faster. But this next wave, this is about proof. It's about knowing for a fact that what's being done is accurate, it's verifiable, and you can rely on it. So why should you care about this? Well, for businesses, it means you can seriously lower the risk of making a huge decision based on bad AI data. For professionals, we're talking lawyers, financial analysts, journalists, it means you might finally have a research assistant you can actually count on. This unlocks the ability to do really deep, trustworthy analysis on a scale we just couldn't before. It really does set a completely new standard for how we can work with AI.
And that really leaves us with the ultimate question. It stops being about what the AI can do on its own, and it starts being about what we can do with an AI we can finally, truly, provably trust. What kind of new ideas, what breakthroughs, what discoveries are suddenly on the table? Now that is something to think about.